afforded a specific timetable for exit from Iraq.
And then McCain stepped up and woke that rumor up.
Well, of course, he said he wanted a timetable.
Now, what McCain is talking about here is that last April, Romney, in an interview with ABC News, said that President Bush and Iraqi President Nouri al-Maliki should get together privately, no one should know, and they should set some guideposts, some milestones, some sort of schedule on a calendar, a set period. Well, there's a better word for it, Jim.
Timetable.
Yes, that is the word. And what McCain knows is that that word used back then, when the war was so unpopular, was not just any word. That word was a message. That word was a code. That word, well, McCain says it better.
Timetables was the buzzword. Timetables was the buzzword. Timetables were the buzzword. Timetables was the buzzword. The buzzword was timetable.
There you have it. Now, what? I mean, it is so clear what it meant. It meant, as a buzzword, what it was saying was, welcome, terrorists. Would you like to date my sister? Okay, so there it is. Case closed. War hero says it. Therefore, Romney betrayed our troops. Moving on. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. A shocking development from the Republican debate last night when decorated war hero John McCain shocked everyone by betraying our troops using a buzzword.
Timetables, 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 timetables. We're not going to talk about timetables, 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 timetables.
I just don't understand. Why would a war hero, why is someone who was given everything by America betray his country by using the word timetable? Oh, my God.
What have I become?
Anyway, obviously, there were some other people there. Huckabee, Ron Paul, of course, had to put his $2 bill on the table over this whole argument over timetables. Listen to the slavering jabber, the insane argument he laid forth about the Iraq War.
How many men are you willing to let die for this? For something that has nothing to do with our national security. There were no Al-Qaeda there, had nothing to do with 9/11, and there was no threat to our national security. They never committed aggression. It's unconstitutional. It's an undeclared war. And we have these silly arguments going on about who said what when.
I got to agree with Senator McCain. That kind of crazy, you wash down.
I have a lot of respect right now for Mr. Ron Paul, for what he just said right there, and I kind of want to. I had a lot of respect for John McCain, Senator John McCain, but that's what Mr. Ron Paul said right there. That really put a nail in the head about one of my feelings. How many more soldiers are going to die? But I'm not trying to be political in any way, shape, or form. This is just, not me supporting or endorsing one candidate or another, but that is something that I think is, I really am surprised at just like the glitz and glamour of the American campaigning system, and Mr. Ron Paul is bringing, he's stating a very realistic and just reality fact of people are dying right now. Why is that not the focus? Why are we talking about other things? And people are suffering as well. So you can't go forward until you know and you're saying this is what's going on. I like candidates who are in Louisiana, but at the same time I like to see results in Louisiana. It's just what is this United States of America if a place is devastated by whatever sort of problem, or people are devastated by whatever sort of problem, and just a solution can't be figured out. and an effective solution. So, part of the beauty of having democracy and having an open environment with ideas flowing back and forth is that people can communicate. So why is there not communication? What is happening in American society that is like there's communication going on. There's books being presented, and ideas are being brought forward. The lowest man can speak to the highest man, and nothing can impede that. And that was what the Founder Fathers were, in my opinion, aiming for. So like even though women couldn't vote, even though they were slaves, it's like the society recognized those people, and they recognized that they were part of society, and that's kind of why they just realized, what do you do? What are we gonna do with all these slaves? What are we gonna do with women? How are things gonna react? And I bet you a lot of them were thinking, can we trust women with the right to vote? Because that was like just the mentality of the time. The same of how the mentality towards minorities was like, are they equal as men as us? Are they further away from, because Darwin wasn't around then, but they because of the Christian ideological feeling, the British men, and even by default the first American colonists. So this is another reason, like I post a lot of video footage from Book TV, is that I'm kind of creating a sort of thesis, I guess you could say, and that's my corroborating evidence is these various intellectuals, and also various things. I'm very fascinated by Mr. Ron Paul's. What is he doing? And I'm sorry about that. I really should do my research before I talk. Anyways, so this is just very interesting. It's like, what is the Constitution? How does the Constitution work? How do people interpret the Constitution in their everyday life? How does it, Congressman Ron Paul, sorry. Okay, his wife looks jolly. They're just like America's favorite grandparents, so I can't really see anything wrong with that. I'm just my biggest complaint with Ron Paul is get rid of public schools. What? Come on. It's amazing. Public schools are considered a socialist institution, or they were initially, and it's like, when you have a disparate country, and what do you have that can bring them together? Well, education, and essentially, the education you choose is the education you choose, and so it's however you want to just go into life or pursue life. So, but it's interesting just how our society creates itself.